Dragon Ball Sparking Zero in the full roster, there's not a lot of OG Dragon Ball representation, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, guys. Some good old OG Dragon Ball. I know a lot of people have not seen OG Dragon Ball. A lot of people probably would never touch OG Dragon Ball because it's a little slower paced, but if you like slice of life stuff and you like some real boots to the ground martial arts and some some stuff like that, I advise you guys to check out OG Dragon Ball at some point in your life if you're a Dragon Ball fan. If not, it's all good. Everybody still loves DBZ, everybody still loves Super, all that kind of stuff. But the anime is not what this video is about. We will be talking about all of the missing characters that did not make it into the full roster. So now you guys see why I started the video without the green screen on, because this shirt has a lot of green in it and now it doesn't look as cool. But that's not the point of this video. Again, we're gonna lock in. I gotta lock in. So to start the video, we are gonna talk about the characters that are already in the game, characters that are in the game but not really in the game, and then characters that should be in the game or that may come later in DLC. That's how I'm structuring this video, and if you're here for that, enjoy the ride. And if you guys want to see more content like this in the future, because I will be covering Sparking Zero, you know what to do. Don't even have to say it, you know exactly what you got to do. So starting off with the characters that are in the game already, we already know that Kid Goku, or they decide to call it in this specific game Teen Goku. And just to get people slightly less confused about that, or slightly less, I wouldn't say mad, but upset about them naming him Teen Goku, technically near the end of OG Dragon Ball, or kind of close to the end, well, let me start off with this. So OG Dragon Ball, Goku is technically like a preteen. He's young, he's like maybe 10, 11 or so. And then as the story progresses, near like the middle-ish end of OG Dragon Ball, he's really like 13 right here. He's really like 13, 14 years old. He's just still small because, you know, Saiyans take forever to actually show their age. And honestly, I thought this too, but then I realized, I was like, okay, so the Goku teen that we're all probably thinking about, which is, you know, when he's taller at the end of OG Dragon Ball, he's really like the very end of OG Dragon Ball, he's really like 18, 19. So he's late teens, he's about to go into his 20s. That's the one I was thinking about, but he's really late teens. Now this is legit Goku in his teenage form. So that was just some extra information. Let's continue watching it. So yeah, OG Kid Goku, or Teen Goku in this specific game, they had to put him in the game. If they did not put him in the game, I feel like there would have been an outrage and it wouldn't have made any sense. And there's another character that also made it into the game, Yajirobe. He technically could be a Z character as well, but he was introduced in OG Dragon Ball, so it makes sense that he is an OG Dragon Ball character. Now Master Roshi, you have to have a Dragon Ball game with Master Roshi in it. I mean, he's not in every Dragon Ball game, now that I think about it, but he's in a few, especially in Tenkaichi. He has been in the previous, I think he's been in all three. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's been in all three Tenkaichis. So it made sense. It definitely made sense that Kid Goku, or Teen Goku, made it into the roster. Otherwise, there would have been an uproar. People would have been pissed off. People would have been mad. And it's funny because I remember when they confirmed that OG Dragon Ball would be in the game, little did we know that they were just going to give us Kid Goku and was like, okay, here you go, now you guys can shut up. OG Dragon Ball was confirmed to be in the game, so technically they weren't wrong. It just wasn't the amount of characters that we thought would be in the game. Now I will say he does look good in the game. His that's my first time actually seeing that, because I haven't seen Kid Goku gameplay, but seeing the Nimbus Cloud in the game is actually pretty fire. Damn, yeah, Kid Goku actually looks pretty cool. Are you guys maining Kid Goku? Are you going to be playing Kid Goku GT, or are you going to be playing Chibi Daima Goku? You guys let me know. But yeah, definitely they had to have him in the game base roster, whether they were going to put all the other OG Dragon Ball characters in the game or not. Now, and then Max Power Roshi is also another character. Roshi gets to have two. Roshi has his form, so he gets to have two characters, which is pretty cool. Yajirobe versus Hirudegarn is crazy. He would get squashed, literally. Is there anyone going to be using Yajirobe? Let me just throw that out there. Is anybody using Yajirobe? I doubt it, but it'll be funny to see if anybody says they're actually going to try and use him. Now, to bring up my point about saying that they put characters in the game without actually putting them in the game, I'm going to show you. So This is me looking at a lot of the different characters and their costumes. Let me skip over because we don't have any, or they don't have any Kid Goku outfits right now, but let me skip quite a bit because there's some characters I want to get into that are in here, right? So right here, actually. So this guy right here could have been his own character. He could have been. I'm not saying he should have been. He could have been his own character. And if you do not know who he is Jackie Chun. It was like Master Roshi's disguise in the, I forgot what world tournament it was. It was Goku's first tournament where he faced Jackie Chun. Master Roshi wanted to hide his identity from Goku. So he went in as Jackie Chun and he fought Goku. And that was a pretty cool fight. If you guys have, again, if you have not seen OG Dragon Ball, check it out, or at least some of the fights. So Yamcha. Yamcha is an OG Dragon Ball character that stuck around with Goku, Krillin, and all the gang. And I thought it was interesting. Honestly, I thought it was interesting that they added his OG Dragon Ball costume, which is right here. And honestly, when I very first watched OG Dragon Ball, I was like, Yamcha is actually pretty cool. You know, as OG Dragon Ball, you know, continues, you start to realize he's not as strong as you think he is. He's really like he's really just Bulma's boyfriend throughout the whole thing. But I thought it was cool that they had his fit in the game as an OG Dragon Ball character. So now we also know that Tien is in there as well, but Tien he kind of wears the same thing in OG Dragon Ball and in Dragon Ball Z, so it's really no point in me pointing it out. Now Krillin, let me just bring this up. So Krillin, right? Could they possibly, if they really wanted to, they could make an OG Krillin, or at least a costume that makes him look like his old self, where he looks a little less detailed. And I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that's something I want. I'm just saying it would be different. So I'm backtracking a little bit, right? So we all know that there's a lot of Great Apes missing from the roster. A lot of Great Apes that we don't have from the previous games, and we only have Great Ape Vegeta and baby Great Ape Vegeta, right? And I was thinking, why do we not have the most iconic Great Ape, the very first one that we ever saw make it into the anime itself, which is Goku, Kid Goku's Great Ape form? I don't understand why I didn't make it into the game. I know it's pretty basic. I think in the previous games, he could only throw rocks. There weren't any key blasts or anything like that, which was funny. But I think if there's going to be a Great Ape form that makes it into the game, it should be Kid Goku's Great Ape. That's just me. I don't know if you guys want that, but I think if there's a Great Ape that should make it into the game, it should be his. And I made a video on that. Link will be in the description down below. Now, moving on. So there's two characters, right? There are two characters that one has made it into the roster before, and one is just me bringing something up from OG Dragon Ball that could easily be a character or a costume, right? So first off, Demon King Piccolo. Demon King Piccolo is a big one. That should be a character in the game, if not a costume for Piccolo, right? Either or. I think that works. Either or. Just make a costume where he looks more evil. He has the symbol insignia on his gi. If they wanted to go the cheap route, the fast route, they could easily just do that. Easy fix. But I believe that Demon King Piccolo deserves his own slot. That's just me though. That's just me. But they could easily just put the outfit in if they really wanted to. Now, piggybacking off of that, this is a character that has not made it. I mean, technically he is in the game, but if we want to get like, you know, have different age groups and stuff like that, Piccolo Jr. has never been in Tenkaichi. They could easily have Piccolo Jr.'s fit in the game, right? And they already and they technically have Goku teen or late teens in the game. I know it seems like I'm going all over the place, but bear with me. So if you go to Goku early, this outfit technically started in OG Dragon Ball when he fights Piccolo Jr. at the 23rd World Tournament. I'm saying 23rd, right? I think it's 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. And I have a footage, some gameplay. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna show you guys that Teen Goku, feet off, feet off, no undershirt, Piccolo Jr., he has his turban hat. He only has his turban hat on. He has no undershirt. He has no pads on his shoulders. That could be an easy outfit that they can put in the game, if not his own character. So you see where I'm coming from? So they technically already have OG Dragon Ball older teen Goku's fit in the game. So why not have Piccolo Jr.'s fit in the game, if not his own character? I'm just pointing that out to you guys. I'm not going to watch my whole gameplay video. But if you do want to see this, link down below. So I already talked about Demon King Piccolo, right? He could easily be an outfit or his own separate character. We have Tambourine, who is technically Demon King Piccolo's one of his sons. He got retconned later on in the series because Namekians can only give birth to other Namekians, and it's a whole convoluted thing. But Tambourine was in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Would you guys want Tambourine in the game? You guys let me know. And then Pilaf Machine, right? Pilaf Machine Fusion. That is a giant character that we're missing. A character and a giant character that we're missing in the roster that was in the previous iteration of the Sparking series. I think he deserves a spot. Pilaf is a big part of what makes Dragon Ball, even though he didn't really do much in Z. You know, he's kind of a gag character that pops up. He even popped up in Super. He was in GT. He's the one that made Goku small. But I think the Pilaf Machine and the Fusion Pilaf Machine should make it. Then there's Devilman. For those who do not know Devilman is I think he was like one of Bibbidi, not Bob. What's the lady's name? Master Roshi's sister with the crystal ball. I forgot her name. Baba. Okay, yeah. It was like some tournament that Baba did in OG Dragon Ball, and he was in it. Not really a character I care for, but he was in the previous game. If they wanted to beef up the roster even more and add characters that were already in the games, he should be in it, but I'm not losing sleep over it. General Blue, another somewhat big villain in OG Dragon Ball near the beginning of OG Dragon Ball. Yeah, he's cool. He's all right. Yeah, he's all right. Now, General Tao, Mercenary Tao, I think he deserves a slot, whether it be I think he should have his General Tao or his normal self as a character slot, and then they could easily make his cyborg form into a costume or have his own separate thing, because he does have different move sets with his cyborg enhancement. So I guess they could have two different Taos if they really wanted to. But I do think one of the Taos should have a slot later on in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero when they decide to add more characters. I think there's more. There should be more. Yep. So Kid Goku, grade 8. I said that earlier. Now Chi-Chi. Should Chi-Chi be in the game? I'm gonna come back to her later. I got something I wanna bring up. I'm gonna come back to her later. Now Grandpa Gohan deserves a spot. If it wasn't for Grandpa Gohan, there would be no Goku. He is the center. He was the very first human on Earth that made Goku who he is. That's all I'm gonna say there. He deserves a spot. That's all I'm gonna say. Then Nam, I like Nam. I personally like Nam. If I remember correctly, he joined a tournament to help out his village. If I'm not mistaken, it was something. It was like they were running out of water or food or something, so he wanted to win a tournament so he can afford that and help out his village. Pretty cool dude. Ader is the next one up. I think he's the very first android we got a look at technically in the whole Dragon Ball franchise. He's basically made after Frankenstein. He's a big teddy bear. Big teddy bear. I liked him. And then Arale. Should she be in it? She was introduced in OG Dragon Ball, but even then she was a crossover character. She was an exclusive crossover character even back then, back in the 80s, 90s, whenever OG Dragon Ball came out. So should she still be in the game? You guys let me know. Maybe not. I think she should, just because she's been in previous games, but again, she is a crossover character, so they could probably replace her with somebody else that could be a crossover character. that from other works that Akira Toriyama has done, like Sandland with Beelzebub or something like that. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all of the OG Dragon Ball characters that were in Tenkaichi 3. Yep, that is it. Going back to Chi-Chi, right? Honestly, I don't really care to have, like, if they were to put Chi-Chi in the game, I don't really care to have her younger form. I actually would prefer if Chi-Chi was older. And just to prove that she could fight back in the day, that those that have not seen OG Dragon Ball, I'm just going to show you some clips. So Chi-Chi actually joined the very last World Tournament, the same one that Piccolo Jr. had joined, right? She joined for different reasons. I'm not going to watch the whole thing because I may get copyrighted. But she pretty much joined.
I don't understand. We've never met.
It is a little blurry. I can't lie. This is a little blurry, so I'm not going to go full screen. But pretty much she joined the World Tournament because Goku, when they were kids, basically promised that they would be married. And he seemed to forget. I mean, years had gone by. He's older now. She's older now. And you know Goku's not the brightest person in the world, right? So, of course, he's going to forget. And he didn't recognize Chi-Chi. And just to show you guys, like, she was kind of a problem back then. It's like Chi-Chi was really, I wouldn't say she couldn't beat Goku. She's not going to beat Goku, but she was actually showing some moves. She probably could even beat just a regular martial artist, maybe not Krillin or maybe not Yamcha or somebody, but she could beat somebody.
I know you're angry, but tell me what I promised you, please.
You're serious? You really can't remember? Fine, I'll tell you the promise you broke. You said that I would be your bride. You promised to marry me.
Yeah. He promised to marry her. He forgot. And then I think in between there, she said, if you beat me, I'll tell you my name, because he still didn't know who she was.
What kind of game you're playing, but I'll be...
How can I marry someone if I don't even
There we
know
go.
their name?
There we go.
I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but I'll be happy to tell you my name. If you beat me...
I think he beat her right here, right? So instead of just all out fighting her, there's some air punch action. Then she gets knocked out.
I'm sorry. That ring not knocked you out.
And then I think this is where she tells him.
Daughter, Chi-Chi. Bull. I'm the Ox King's daughter, Chi-Chi.
Wait a minute. You're Chi-Chi?
To be a kid again, right? Goku was on one. If you don't know, that was his way of checking to see if girls were girls back in the day. That was some wild way of doing it. I guess they both were kids, so it's not as bad, but it's still bad.
I remember. I did say it. It was back when we were children that I told you I wanted a bride.
I remember. I was there.
But I don't think you understand. I thought bride meant something to eat.
Something
He's
to
such a dummy.
eat. Then the promise you made was a mistake?
Sometimes my brain doesn't know what my mouth is saying. Good thing my heart does.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Propose to Anonymous.
Hey. He said, good thing my heart does.
Nothing like this.
He's still crazy, though.
Why are you grabbing me?
Yeah, all right. Goku's Goku. We all love him. That was a nice little moment between them two. But yeah, I believe we should get older Chi-Chi instead of the younger Chi-Chi if she were to be put into the game again. That's my personal opinion. That's what I think They can even add her a fan. I think she had a fan in a previous game. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure Chi-Chi was in a previous Dragon Ball game. She had like a fan that she could use. There it is. There it is. Super Dragon Ball Z. There it is. I knew she was in another Dragon Ball game you could fight in her adult form. I always wanted to come back to this game. Maybe in the future when, you know, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero stuff might start drying up content wise. I may come back to Super Dragon Ball Z. Do like a little playthrough or a little walkthrough of the game again. But yeah, just, you know, just to show you guys that she is, or she was in a previous Dragon Ball game to be used. If you guys been subscribed to me, you know it would not be a video like this if I did not go and check and see what the community is saying about OG Dragon Ball on X. And some of this stuff is old, some of the stuff is new. Slow said back in July 27th, Sparking Zero confirms OG Dragon Ball characters. They confirmed it, but we did not know what we would only be getting. Actually, only one, maybe two, because of Yajirobe, and if you want to technically say Master Roshi's OG Dragon Ball as well, I guess 3. But we thought we were going to get a lot more. They got shafted. They put GT in base roster before OG Dragon Ball, which honestly is kind of interesting when you think about that they put characters they could easily make money off of for DLC before something, the foundation of Dragon Ball. I would have put OG in there first and then sold. If I was a business, put OG in there first and then sell the GT characters later for DLC. That's from a business standpoint. That's what I would do. OG Dragon Ball is alive. I guess they do have the announcer. They have the young version and the older version, which is pretty cool. OG Dragon Ball Goku Uzaru. Okay, I did have something to say about this when I very first saw his attack, right? When I very first saw this in the reveal trailer. Cool attack, right? Looks exactly the way it's supposed to look. But let me pause it. This is essentially, I mean, in like a spirit form, this is essentially the grade 8 form in the game. Already rendered. I mean, they have the grade 8 Vegeta form. They just might change the hair up a little bit, take off the armor. There's the grade 8 Goku form right there. It's that easy. They have the model. He's already naked. They have the model for grade 8 Goku, but they decided to not add that as a form for Kid Goku or Teen Goku. It's there. It's literally right there. So that's just something I wanted to point out in this video for sure. Huge win for original Dragon Ball. David Edmondson, Bandai Namco's marketing director, confirmed Tao Pai, and Red Ribbon Army are in Sparking Zero. They're in Sparking Zero, but they're not playable in Sparking Zero right now. So we know Joji Dragon Ball easily will be DLC in the future, right? But again, this video is just saying why didn't they have more representation? They didn't have to have every single character, but why isn't there more representation in the base roster? Now, when I say this, when I'm bringing all this stuff up, I wonder like how long will it take for us to get the OG Dragon Ball characters, because we're only getting 20 plus characters in season pass 1, and that only covers Superhero and Daima. So we're not going to get OG Dragon Ball characters or other characters that people have been wanting for quite some time. It might be season 2, it could be season 3, maybe even further than that, sprinkled in somewhere, depending on how long this game ends up lasting, which I'm pretty sure it will last for a while, especially if they go the, I don't know if they're going to do the Xenoverse route, because Xenoverse, they can do that. They can put out just random characters now, because the way the story is built, it's almost like a multiversal thing for like Marvel. They can have multiple versions of different characters with weird forms and stuff. The whole Dragon Ball Heroes thing, they can do that because that's Xenoverse 2. They really can't do much. Once all the characters are in the game, all the characters are in the game when it comes to Sparking Zero, unless they harp on the what if situations. Then there may be some what if characters, but we're talking about OG Dragon Ball, right? Sparking Zero seriously fumbled the bag with OG Dragon Ball. Only one rep. You telling me Bandai really looked at this NPC and said, give that nigga a spot over the Demon King Piccolo? And this ain't even mentioning Kid Goku's model or lack of alternate costumes, bro. I'm saying, like, who I think he was in a game before. I don't even know his name, man. Like, who cares? Who cares about this guy? But yeah, there's so many other people that could take his spot. So many other people that could have took his spot. If OG Dragon Ball really is DLC for Sparking Zero, I feel like that's kind of a weird choice. Like, the devs don't think it's important enough to be in the main game, but they think it'll make them the most money. Then again, I don't follow Dragon Ball stuff closely, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I said earlier, just a few seconds ago, it doesn't make sense to to not have OG Dragon Ball already in the game, but then we have Vegeta GT in the game base roster. I would have reversed it. GT characters definitely will make them more money, in my opinion. I wasn't too hot on Sparking Zero because I'm not as big of a fan of Dragon Ball since I was younger, but Kid Goku has me excited for it. I still think OG Dragon Ball is the best part of the series. I wonder how he really feels about it though, because if he only cares about OG Dragon Ball, that's really the only character besides Master Roshi and Yajirobe. And then if he wants to use Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu, there's really not a lot of characters that were from that era. The more I think, the more I get pissed off at the fact that OG Dragon Ball got shafted in Sparking Zero. So yeah, I mean, it's looking like, at least on here, at least on X, this isn't everybody's opinion that's out there in the community, but at least on X, from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are not happy with OG Dragon Ball not being in the base roster, or at least having half of the characters that were in Tenkaichi 3. I think that would have been amazing, and then maybe add more later on. They could have sprinkled in some more later on, but to only have Kid Goku in the game, that'd be technically the only representation that they showed off in all the trailers. I don't know. I don't like that either, to be honest with you guys. So that concludes this video. I want to know what you guys think. Should OG Dragon Ball, or should have OG Dragon Ball been in the full release base roster of this game, or are you guys cool with it being DLC later on? I want to know. I want to get you guys' opinions on that. I want to debate with you guys in the comments. Again, I think OG Dragon Ball should have had at least a little more representation. They didn't need to have every single character that was in Tenkaichi 3 base roster, but at least half of what we got in the previous game. And that's where I'm sticking with that. But yeah, see you guys all in the next video. You know what to do if you want to see more content like this. So peace.